this chapter, we're going to talk about data structures in Python. So what data structures basically do is that they help us organize data in our machine so that it can be used more efficiently. But we won't be talking about the actual theory behind data structures. Instead, we'll focus on how to actually use them in practice. So the first one we're going to talk about is called the tuple. What a tuple is basically a sequence of immutable objects, which basically means that once you create a variable of the tuple type, you can't change its elements. So let's define a tuple in the following way. Hold on. Tup equals, so we have one, then a string ABC, comma, 2, and then again, and then CDE. So here's our tuple. Another way it can be done is like this. So we have tup1 equals, so without the parentheses basically, 3 EFG, and then we say true. These are just parts of the tuple. And to define a tuple with a single value, you just do the following. So tup2, for example, equals capital A. Or it's also can be done as, so this also, I'm going to just write in comments, so you could say tup2 equals, in parentheses, A, and then comma. And just keep in mind the comma is essential when you just have one element in the tuple. You can print out the elements, so moving on actually, you can print out the elements of a tuple using the print function. So it'll just print them all out. It's not capital print. Yeah, this keyboard's kind of weird. Tup. Alright, build. So it basically printed everything out with the parentheses and everything. You can also print elements of the tuple. So let's do the following. Instead of saying the whole tuple, we just say the first element. Remember, not the first element, so 0 is inclusive. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3 in this first tuple. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So when we said 1, that means we got ABC in that tuple, but when we say 0, we got the 0th element. So you can also use indices to slice the tuple. So 0 colon, that's done by doing the following, 0 colon 2, for example. That means we just want to get a certain portion of the tuple. So you just want 0, the 0th position and the 2nd position. To the 2nd position, or actually, I should say this. Give me 2 elements from the tuple starting from the 0th position and counting up to 2. So 1 for the 0th and 2 for the first. So it's kind of confusing, but just say, okay, starting from here, give me 2 elements starting from the beginning. So 1, 2. Okay. So moving on, we already mentioned that tuples are immutable objects, so we can't change them. But so what we can do, we can assign a value to a single element of the tuple, but we can't change it later. So we'll do the following. So let's erase this. Give me a sec. So we're gonna do a try, and what we're gonna do, and then this, we're gonna try assigning a value to the 3rd element of the tuple. So tup3 in square brackets equals 5. And as you probably already can tell based on what we said before, this isn't going to work. So we're going to do except exception as E colon print E, and you're going to see what's going to happen. Tuple is an object that does not support item assignment. So as we said, this backs up our claim that we said elements can't be changed at all, so they're immutable. And that pretty much solves that issue. And now what you can also do we can do as follows. So let's try another piece of code. So let's erase that. So tup, we're gonna actually use 0. We're gonna splice, whatever, plus 5, comma. So what we're doing here, we're going to let's just type it out. What we're going to do, we're going to add an element to the very end. So what we did, we got the whole, we said, okay, so the tuple now is going to be the following. So the tuple is going to, from after the final element, we added another element 5. And we said, okay, so now we have the 5th element. So this means we can conclude that all operations that are applicable to strings are also applicable to tuples. And therefore, we can multiply, use the multiplication, print, so tup times 8 times tuple 2, oh actually let's say 2 times 4. It's going to print it out 4 times. Another operator we can use is the membership operator. This operator is used for checking if an element belongs to a tuple or not. So we are asking, so let's print out, does 5 belong to tuple? Is there a 5 in tuple? And that means it returns a bool. So yes, it is. It's in there. And it is also possible to use tuples iteration in loops. So let's do that too. So I'm just writing a lot of code. Oh, just adding things on to save some time. So in 4x in, oops, we've got A, B, hold on a sec, and C. So this is a tuple for using a for loop using a tuple. So we're going to say print x. And we're going to do that. And there's a mistake here. So, oh, forgot the colon again. Alright, let's see what the problem is. Name x is not defined. That's because I used the capital X. Whoops. Keep my finger on the shift key. Alright, so it said, okay, now we're going to print the whole tuple in a for loop. So A, B, C. And we find tuples very useful when there are needs to return multiple results from a function. So let's do that as well. So define multiple results. Actually, caps lock result. And then we're going to say, okay, so give me the tuple, return 1, 2, and then A. And then we're going to say print multiple results. So with tuples, you can get multiple results. I forgot there we go, multiple results. And you can compare two tuples with one another. You can compare two tuples with one another by doing the following. So you do print. We're going to do manual tuple 1, 2, 3 equals 1, 2, for example. So you're checking if tuples are equal to each other, which these are not. Syntax error, hold on a sec. I forgot a parentheses. There you go. And as you can see, it's false. So basically, tuples are pretty dynamic. You can work with them in a lot of number of ways, as you can see here. So if you want to look at these again, just pause the video or whatever, and that's pretty much it.